I wanted to make this because of just something I realised about the game. It's a pretty big thing because I think in my recent video about just how crap the games can be, there is one solution to it that sort of works, and it kind of reminds me of like why live services fail. So it's because of the time investment, and I think a lot of players feel sort of de-incentivized from doing anything else in the game because of just how much they need to invest, which obviously creates a lot of issues, and it shouldn't be an issue anyway. And the solution I came up with just a few moments ago was a descending thing. I don't know what you call it. I call it like the Descender's Elixir or something. But the whole point of it is that when you're sort of looking at getting a new character, you don't necessarily want to invest too much into them because you've already invested so much in a previous character, which has its issues, obviously. And the big thing is that there isn't really much you can do about it because you've already invested and you can't get the items back. So it's kind of like, why bother? As a result, you end up with crappy teams, and that ends up with a toxic mentality. And that's problematic for so many reasons. But also, people spend money on it, and as a result, these characters that they spend money on just never get used. I remember in Genshin Impact when I just got a few hundred primo gems for like Garnu and I think El Haven. I ended up not using them and still haven't used them for a while. And it goes to show that there's a problem with the game's live service model of releasing new characters every now and then. Well, every month even. Because it's becoming so problematic that you end up regretting your choices and you can't really do much about that. And you might say like, oh, well, you should be FTP and you should be rolling on overpowered characters. Well, yeah, that's what we're already doing. But the problem is that we need characters in between, and that's something that's not discussed much about in an Honkai Star Rail that's even more prevalent. So again, it just becomes a massive issue. And my solution with the Descender Elixir is pretty simple. It can either be a microtransaction or an item. The idea is that you can get one every so often, and you can basically refund every material from a character or multiple characters. It'd be better if you could do multiple anyway. But you basically refund everything, but you don't get the first type rewards like these free wishes. So it's really simple, really. Basically, when you descend something like a character or weapon, or an artifact for that matter, you should be allowed to get the items back from it. Or just an equivalent thing, like a currency or whatever materials you put into it. And that shouldn't be a hard thing to do, because it's beneficial for everyone. I look at like how I rolled on Sealer and like Junior Ryan and Honkai Star Round. I still like them, but Junior Ryan isn't as good as others apparently, and it's just problematic. And so you just end up stuck and you don't know what to do. And you just feel lost in the end because you can't do much about it. You've already invested, and so when you want a new character, like a new Quantum Destruction, for example, or a new Electric Destruction, you can't really do anything about it. You've just invested and you're fucked, basically. And I fucking hate that sort of game design philosophy because it means that you wasted your time and your money. Because I buy the Battle Pass on both. I buy the Welkin and the Honkai Star Rail equivalent. And it's just shitty. it shouldn't be a thing. It's outdated by game design standards today. No other games will do this because they're not making their older characters redundant. At least most I know of. And some definitely are. So, yeah, the solution is just simple, really. I don't think there should really be any friction for it because really the friction is de-leveling a character, putting them back to zero, and everything back to zero in return for all the items they can give you. And that could go towards a new character. I can think of like the traces that I've invested in Honkai Star Rail that I could use on someone else. And that's currently my biggest point of contention. Is because I have to re-grind everything that I've already sort of grinded for. It just gets boring and frustrating, so it shouldn't be a thing. I'm just tired of it. And by modern game design standard again, like this shouldn't be a problem. It should be already solved. Everything that is a problem should be solved. And the lack of anyone sort of doing that is stupidly problematic. And that's why you get toxicity. Because like, I think about how I'm going to roll on Blade and Jingyu and Honkai Star Rail, maybe Cloud Retainer and Genshin Impact. And then I think about all the characters I already currently have who are not performing as well as they should. And I'm realising, like, holy shit, this is a joke, right? This character that was once best in slot is no longer best in slot. It reminds me when Genshin Impact was in the first patch still, when Diluc was apparently the best of the best. And now he's like bottom tier. You barely see him in any runs anymore. You barely see anyone using him from as a whole, as a matter of fact. So yeah. Hope that whoever takes this whole thing into account, I think I'll get mentioning it in the surveys. Because I don't like how when you invest in a character just for power alone, you don't really get the benefits of it. And even then, when you are sort of attached to a character like I was with Ganyu, Diluc even, you just miss out because there are newer characters who are better at gameplay and you just want the better gameplay. Which again is another sign of like a red flag. It's a red flag of bad game design. It just shows that it's so far behind and so I think the word is redundant, I can't be sure. Just needs fixing and that's it really. Hopefully this becomes a thing. I don't expect it will. But it really needs to because really accounts are a mess when you look at all the things they've got. Like all you've invested in, all the characters, and you have to grind again and stuff. It gets frustrating over time. Like, admittedly, you can get to a point where you don't need to worry about that, but that's so far away. It took me 2 years in Genshin Impact for that to happen. It took me 2 years to get everyone leveled and ready, and this is like buying all the battle passes and stuff. In Honkai Star Rail, apparently it's quicker, but I'm not seeing any progress. That's the problem. And given how cheap the game is in terms of rewards, it's not very good. Also needs a change, it needs improving. So yeah. That's all I have to say.